Well, my friends, thanks for coming. Not everybody wants to explore reincarnation, but if we do, it's a way of understanding or beginning to understand that there's more to life than what we accept as a reality in 3D, that we are expanded beings. So, what are some of the ways that we can get a clue? Um, well, the first thing is to set the intention. I mean, if you're really interested, to set the intention of having or learning about your past lives. So that I think is the first step. And then if you dream about places over and over and over again that you go to, my neighbor always dreams that she's in a marketplace or a bazaar that in a fairly arid region of the world, and she has this dream from different angles. It's the same place, but it's sort of a different vision of it. And I'm fairly sure that that was a past life. And then sometimes we meet people that are incredibly familiar to us, even though we haven't met them yet before. I remember once in Vermont, I was introduced to somebody as Gretchen, obviously, and he shook my hand and he said, "Hello, Rachel," which was one of my names in a past lifetime. And I said, "Wow, well, he was there." Also, um, places can be really familiar to us. Now, I don't travel, so that doesn't happen for me. But some of you may travel to a place that you know where that street goes. You know what the view is at the end of that street. Now, how could you know that, right? And another way of um, exploring, uh, if you brought in a passion, an interest that you always, always, always had, no matter how it played out in your life. But even as a child, you were fascinated with insects or, um, or nature or languages or music. There are savants that are born remembering how to play instruments. If you're drawn to something, no matter when you're drawn to it during your life, there may be, if it really excites you and there's a lot of passion about it, it may be something that you've already had an experience with. Now, you can go to a psychic and always use discernment when you're with a psychic. I'll tell you my experience, which was profoundly beneficial, but I think I was really ready to see and know this stuff. We did a meditation where, we relaxed and did breathing at first, and this was way back in the early 80s. And then she had me visualize an elevator in front of me. And it could be any kind of an elevator. I think I just used a regular stainless steel one. I don't remember anything fancy. And she said, "See yourself, imagine yourself stepping into that elevator and turning around and the doors closing." And then we would set the intention again to go to a scene or place or platform where I could understand a previous life. And for me, there was always a sense of going downward, which might have indicated backward in time, but I'm not overthinking that one. The elevator doors open, and she said, to even before you took a step out of the elevator, she said, "Look at your feet." And it was amazing because you have different shoes on, or sometimes no shoes on, and what your feet look like. And then you gradually, look at what your pants are, look at what you're wearing, and you sort of get grounded in the imagery of yourself. And then she asks you to take a step out onto but watching your feet step out of the elevator onto the image of the place where you had your past life. And then very gradually, she asks you to look around and remember anything you can about the place or the people that you were with. And eventually, she took me to my death in each lifetime, which was incredibly beneficial because, you know, we're all so afraid of that moment of death. But it's really good to know we've done this before, we can do it again. So just use discernment with a psychic and see how it feels. And then research that area or period of time and see if it resonates with you. Now, some children are born as savants, geniuses, and bring the skill that they had. You know, where would they have accessed that in this dimension, except in this dimension? And they'll be able to play an instrument at the age of like 3. Very accomplished. I mean, we're all familiar with that. And then one of the kind of neat things that happens on the internet, and I watch some of them, are these children who know who they've been, know the name, know the place, know how they died, can see details of how they died and the circumstances that actually can be traced. There was another really great program about a woman in this country who knew that her last lifetime was in Ireland. And she figured that possibly some of her relatives might still exist there. She had such vivid memories of the town, and she could draw all the roads and where they went and what were the towns near it. And so she went to Ireland. I forget the name of the show, but it was absolutely fascinating. And she actually found her own gravestone. How cool is that? There were, I think, 2 of her, and in that lifetime, her children still living. And I don't doubt it. I mean, I really don't. Uh, the details that she said that she knew here in this country were just too identical to what happened in Ireland. So there are lots of different ways that you can sense or feel connections. And again, I think the main thing is to set the intention and then ask your higher self, your oversoul, your guides and angels to give you hints about this. So we'll do interactive past lives next because they're all simultaneous. And so until I see you again, please be well and please be blessed. Thanks for coming.